if somebody were to enroll in the course, what should they expect? And what are their options? They've got an online component, there's a real
Hmm.
world component.
Hmm.
Just walk me through it.
Okay, so number one, you can't just, go in and fill out a form and pay the money and start. This course is by invitation only, and that's not out of ego. It's to make sure that anyone who signs up is ready for the level of rigor. It's not a simple course, but we want to make sure that anyone who comes to this course knows what they're getting into, that they're prepared and ready to take that on. And we want to know who's there because we want to also protect the experience of everyone else in the course. So this is an invitation only process, whether it's online only or the online version with the camp, 100% invitation basis. And if you have any curiosity, if you have any inkling, then you should put out the invitation, the request for an invitation, because that starts the path. Even if you're not selected, I think that that alone is valuable, just because of the self-inquiry that it stirs. But we do take the application serious. So, like, first and foremost, you don't just sign up, you request an invitation, and then there's a process going through that.
And that's
Um,
a questionnaire that they would fill out when
yeah,
they request the invitation to the
yep,
Clarity course. They'll get a
yep,
questionnaire, and then you and your partners
yeah,
will take a look at that.
yeah. And that's, ColleenDuPont.com/clarity hyphen course. And then you'll see in there places to request an invitation. Um, Once you do request that, then our team goes through, we read all of the answers, we judge you. Sorry about that, but that's what humans do. There's an evaluation process, to kind of gauge, where we think you are. And part of that also is, people have requested an invitation because they want to hang out with Colleen from La Frenchies. Yes, I am from the La Frenchies. La Frenchies is a very natural self-expression of me because what I care about. But this course is not La Frenchies. If you want to meet me, look for me around Paris, look for me in a meetup or some other way. This course is for people that are, planning their next chapter, that want more out of life, that are ready to do some rigorous self-work. So that's the first round. And then, excuse me, the next piece that we do is a phone interview where we just have a conversation to, see who you are. You can see who I am, what the work is about, have any questions addressed and whatnot. And then from there, would move to the formal invitation process. There are two ways to do the course. There is an online only version. I know that not everyone can travel to France at whim. I get that. It's not an inexpensive course, so it is an investment in yourself. Um, but the online only portion, it's a 10 module course that takes place over 13 weeks. We start with a kickoff call. We have the ongoing work of the course released on Fridays. I suggest that you can listen to the material when it comes out, wait a couple of days, let it work and noodle around in your mind, and then come back later, listen to it again and do the work. Because it's this, some tests, I've done some, I'll probably be creating some where, like the faster you answer it, the better. This is stuff that think of it like we're putting a solution to take off the varnish of those masks, like listen to it first and then come back and look in the mirror with the new, listening newly to the material. And then, we have multiple calls within the course. We have group homework sessions that turn into friendship sessions, sometimes actually working on the homework, oftentimes just talking about what are we going to do in France and whatnot for the people who are traveling to France. But the homework sessions are places where people can say, this is what I understood from that lesson, and somebody else will say, oh, I heard it differently. And so there's that community that emerges when people are talking about, both themselves and the material, that really opens new things for everyone. So this is one of the big places where the sisterhood starts, is in the homework sessions. And the other beautiful thing is, for those who are continuing on to the in-person camp, they already know each other when they arrive in Paris. Like they're all coordinating where they stay in hotels and what tours they want to do before and after the course and, the camp and whatnot. But they arrive already, like best friends who are just meeting for the first time in person. So the online portion is pretty much the same. It just wraps up a little bit differently than the camp portion. And then the people who are doing the course and the camp, there's a deeper dive, some more workshopping and more specific things on the actual planning process for that, you're designing the next chapter of your life, then how do you make that next chapter real? So that's more of the nuts and bolts of, transitioning from where I am today to where I want to be at the end of the course.